ॐ जयति जगति मायां यस्य कायादवस्थे वचनरचनमेकं केवलं चाकलय्य ध्रुवपदमपि यातो यत्कृपातो ध्रुवोऽयं सकलकुशलपात्रं ब्रह्मपुत्रं नतोऽस्मि. The last Monday we read up to Sutra 66. That was the first section from the third chapter. And we have to start from the second section or Sutra 67 today. But in the previous classes, I have to make one reference, and also some people could not understand or could not listen properly to the Sutra 66. Before that, in Sutra 65, I told that, let me read it again. 65 I am reading. Tadarpita Akhilachara San Kama Krodha Abhimanadikam Tasmin Neva Karaniyam. I told that the very natural instincts in man are referred to here. Kam, Krodha, Abhiman, all these are Adikam. In Adi we can take Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsar. Now for this, I was trying to search reference of the Gita. That is unnecessary. This is not referring to Gita anywhere. Let me apologize for making you find Gita or my trying to find Gita. These are the commonest enemies of man, known to man. So this is not from Gita. This is from the commonest what we call Shadripus or enemies of man. Now when you talk of Shadripus or 6 enemies of man, we do not find the mention of Abhiman there. But Kama, Krodha, Moha, Mada, Matsar. This Mada is Abhiman. So Mada is equivalent to Abhiman here. Others are very common enemies of man. Now in Sutra 66, some people could not understand or could not properly listen perhaps. The explanation of Nitya Dasya, Nitya Kanta, I don't think any doubt there. Smarnatmakam. Now the question is about Tri Rupa Bhanga Purvakam. I told that this Tri Rupa, please listen carefully now. This Tri Rupa is equivalent of Triputi of Vedanta. This Tri Rupa of Narada Bhakti Sutra is equivalent of Triputi of Vedanta. And what is this Triputi? Knower, known, and the knowing. This is called Triputi. And in the final knowledge, this Triputi also vanishes. That means experience without the experiencer. Experience is there, but I am the experiencer, this is not there. Now we come to Narada Bhakti Sutra. That is the final point where any bhakti of ours can become real bhakti. This is the last point. And here what I said was, when the Trirupa goes, then it becomes real bhakti. That is what I said. Some people have wrongly understood. When it becomes real bhakti, then Trirupa comes now. Now, I am loving God in the form of I am the son, God is the mother, or vice versa. I am the mother or father, God is my child, or I am a friend, God is my friend. Any of the forms with which I love God. Some people even doubted that how this love or relations can lead to God. That is a channel through which the identical love flows. Everybody has a mental constitution. Some people ask me, can you say I love my mother more than my father? Yes, you may not be, You may be loving them equally or of different types, but we know in Bengali, I will tell you, people say he is mother's son, and about somebody they say his father's son. No, he cannot be a son without mother and father. But if he is more attached to mother, they say his mother's son. If he is more attached to father, they say his father's son. Isn't it? Mayer Chele, Babar Chele. Even to the extent, revered Swami Niramayananji of last generation, very funny thing I am telling, from some external evidence, Swami Vivekananda is mother's son, Holy Mother's son, and Swami Brahmananda is Thakur's son. Niramayanji said, how Swami Vivekananda's birthday is on Krishna Saptami of any month, Ush Krishna Saptami. Mother's birthday is Margashirsha Krishna Saptami. So both have Krishna Saptami as their birthdays. 1 month after mother's birthday is Swamiji's birthday. Raja Maharaj birthday is Shukla Dvitiya, and Thakur's birthday is also Shukla Dvitiya. There also 1 month gap. First Rakal Maharaj's birthday, then after 1 month comes Thakur's birthday. Seeing that, and we know that Rakal Maharaj took Thakur himself as his mother, not that he was not devoted to mother and all that. But so Niramayanji said, Brahman Swamiji is Thakur's son, Swami Vivekananda is mother's son. Anyway, so what I am telling is, in our life, actual life, we are loving God. Here is not question of mother and father. And again I will tell you, our love for the mother, our own mother who gave us birth, and our love of God as mother are very, very, very different. Only the mold is there. Our love for God cannot be our love for our own mother. I will quote an incident in this respect. One sannyasi, trying to feel nearness to mother, Holy Mother, goes to her and says, Mother, you are just like the mother who gave me birth. In Bengali, Garbhadharini Marmato. Mother became grave. What you are talking, my child? Why should I become like your Garbhadharini Ma? I am your mother in the sense, I am the mother of the whole universe. I am the mother of good and I am the mother of bad. I am the mother of everybody. In that sense, I am your mother also. So understand the difference? In a semi-humorous way, I say, we have come out of the mother's womb. We are not going to go back to that womb. But we have come from God and we are going to go back to God. Actually, love is only one. And we can define that love as Advaitam. We have seen Narada himself in Sutra 3, Amruta Swarupacha, that is how he has defined it. And we have seen this Amruta is nothing but the description of one reality without a second, Advaitam. Maybe more the bliss aspect of it is taken. So, but we are human beings. Our mind is a human mind. So for this love to flow, it requires particular channels. For example, on the terrace, rain is falling. And from the terrace, different mouths like tiger's mouth, cow's mouth, like that, the channels are there. The water does not come from tiger's mouth. Water does not come from cow's mouth. Water is coming from the sky. Same water. So in our life, this love of God, not for all, but for most of us, the love takes some form. And that form is what Narada is referring to. Nitya Dasya Nitya Kanta, we already explained, is becoming the first and last of the Panchabhavas. It includes every bhava possible in the world. In the Gita 9th chapter, God is called as grandfather, mother, father, grandfather. So many relations are given there. And some people do not like these relations also. Philosophically, who is God? God is my being. God is my Atman. That itself is a relation. Now, the love flows through this particular channel in a particular mind. I love God as my mother. I love God as my father. I love God as my friend. Now, this love is from identity. God is my reality. That is how I love God. I have described Narad Bhakti as the self-centripetence. Now we are not having that real bhakti. We are having some type of bhakti. And in that some type of bhakti, there is a relation. And we are loving God. Now I told you that first this has to become permanent. And I described it. If I am God's servant, everybody is God's servant. I am nobody's servant other than God. Nobody is my servant. Similarly, taking Mirabai's example and other examples I have shown you, now this love grows. And this love, when it grows, it purifies me. When it becomes permanent in my life, in every relation, the same relation comes about the world, about God, or whatever I think, feel, eat, drink. Everywhere this relation pervades, then the love grows intensely. The love grows in a one-pointed manner. Then what happens? I forget at times I am the son and God is the mother. What remains? Love remains. The form through it was flowing should break down one day. That is what Narada is telling. Trirupa Bhanga Purvakam. This is Trirupa. What is Trirupa? I, God, and love. I, child, God, mother, and love. I, mother, God, child, and love. I, friend, God, friend, and love. This is called Trirupa. Now the love is expression of identity and the love grows. When the mind becomes more pure, when this love pervades my life, then the love grows to an infinite extension. And then these three forms break down mind. Otherwise, they are not going to real bhakti. So when these three forms break down, what remains? Love remains. I am a son, I am loving God in a particular way, that particular way goes away. I am loving God, love remains. Now I am loving God, this I goes away. I am loving God, this God as an object goes away. Only love remains. That is Sri Rupa Bhanga Purvakam. Understood, please? Sri Rupa Bhanga Purvakam means when the Gauni Bhakti becomes such that the three rupas break down, only love remains, then it becomes Naradiya Bhakti or real Bhakti. That is what I was telling. Gauni Bhakti becomes Naradiya Bhakti or real Bhakti when the form in which it is loved, that form breaks down, only love remains. It is Sri Rupa Bhanga Purvakam. Now we come to today's topic. Now, some people may feel, now what is the topic? Mukhya Bhakta Mahima. Some people will feel as if Gaun Bhakta's topic is over now, Mukhya Bhakta's topic has come. No. Whatever Narada had to tell about the real Bhakti has finished in chapter up to 55. Now he is talking to the Gaun Bhaktas only. And his purpose is that how these Gaun Bhaktas can become real Bhaktas. So now what he does, he says, I accepted your Bhakti. I accepted your Bhakti and I have given you several formulas by which it will become real Bhakti. But mind you, you are Gauni Bhakti today. Real bhaktas are only those, not you. So he describes now real bhaktas for the sake of Gaun bhaktas. Real bhaktas themselves, their love, their sadhana and everything is described. But now to inspire the Gauni bhaktas to become real bhaktas, he is describing them again. And that is why describing in a particular way. There we had seen that matto bhavati, sabdo bhavati, we had seen their behavior becomes mad like, huh? Intoxicated like. So, to the Gaun Bhaktas, he is telling, see their behavior. See their behavior, see their value to society, see their value to the country, see their value to the whole world. So, he is inspiring the Gaun Bhaktas to try. Otherwise, seeing so many difficult steps Narada has given, the Gaun Bhaktas will say, no, no, let us remain with our own Bhakti. So, to inspire them to become real Bhaktas, Narada is telling about them. So, in Sutra 67, Bhakta Ekantino Mukhya. First time some name has come for the Bhaktas. He had not given any name up till now. But because he is talking to the Gaun Bhaktas, so he is telling the real Bhaktas. So in relation to Gaun, the word has come Mukhya. And Mukhya Bhakti does not say Mukhya Bhaktas. So the main Bhaktas, the chief Bhaktas, the real Bhaktas, the name Narada has given them is Mukhya. That is in contrast with Gauna. So he is telling, who are Mukhya Bhaktas? Ekantino. Ekantino means they don't know anything but God. That is Ekantino. World, social life, nothing they know. They know only God. Social life based upon God, family life based upon God. Their eating, drinking, everything based upon God. That is real Bhakta. Narada is pointing out to the God Bhakta, see, that is real Bhakta. You have to become like that. Today you are not like that. And so I have given you several tricks to become like that. And he is now inspiring them. So first sutra is the real bhaktas or the mukhya bhaktas. Narada is telling, I have called you bhaktas, God bhaktas, but I shall call them as the chief bhaktas who know nothing but God. Ekanti no. Now, कंठावरोध रोमांच अश्रुवे परस्परं लपमाना पावयन्ति कुलानि पृथिवीं च. He says their hobby is to talk with each other, compare experiences. Compare means not compare and contrast, like, but talking about God is what they like. We see this in Sri Krishna. He used to go to all the religious leaders and used to ask them, in what form you experience God? How do you experience God? And Sri Krishna also has said, he has given the example of those who smoke hemp. That a hemp smoker smokes. He does not feel that much intoxication. He gives his chilam to his friend and say, you smoke now? And when he smokes, he gets intoxication. This is the habit of the hemp smoker. Even ordinary tobacco smokers. They smoke, then they will ask their friends to smoke. And when the friends smoke, they are getting intoxicated. So that example Thakur has given how the bhaktas behave with each other. He will talk about God, then he'll say, now you please talk about God. In the Kathamritam, in the Gospel, continuously we see this. If Mahimacharya comes, Thakur will say, please tell about this, please tell about that. So, but they cannot talk clearly. Because of their love for God, their speech is obstructed. Kantha Kantha means throat, Avarodha means obstruction. So while speaking, other word for this is Gadgada Kantha. So when the devotee is specially showing to the Gaun Bhaktas, see, for you they are like mad. They cannot talk with each other clearly. Their throat becomes choked, Kantha. And then Romancha. While they are talking of God, experiencing God, real Bhakta, their hair stand on the end. That is called Romancha, horripilation. So they feel horripilation in the body only by talking about God, because their experience becomes revived. Ashravi, tears will collect in the eyes. Now that's not tears of weeping. Sri Ramakrishna has told us the weeping tears come from the center and the prema tears come from the end. So, tears of intensity of experience, tears of joy, tears of love, they are different tears. But while speaking about God, that is what happens to them. Throat is choked, horripilation on the body, and tears in the eyes. Parasparam lapamana. Lapamana means alap, talking with each other, parasparam, each other. So with Kantha Romancha Ashruvi, Parasparam Lapamana. That is the description. Now he'll say, what is to society, what they are useful, they are like mad. Many people call good bhaktas as mad. But Narada is telling, remember, Avayanti Kulani. They have made their whole family pure. They have made their whole family fear of God. They either will change their family or simply by their existence, they have made the family worthy. We have seen, especially why, anywhere, Thakur or in the Ramakrishna mission, when some boy joins, the whole family becomes devotee. Not that he is a devotee's son, but when he becomes the sadhu, the family is pulled there. So, he says, these mad people, they are the reason for making the family holy. Not only that, Prithvim cha, the world in comparison to what it was becomes more pure and holy because of these people. Not because of those people who follow social etiquette all the time. They cannot change the world. If you are following all social rules, nicely behaving with each other, that will not change the society. Swamiji tells us that society be your slave, not you the slave of society. So these people make the society, whole humanity, whole world, Prithvimcha, Pavanam, Pavayanti. These people who in your eyes are mad like are the reason for the holiness of their family and for the holiness of the entire world. You see the other way around. Suppose such people do not exist, the world will crash. So because of them, the world becomes holy. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani, sukarmi kurvanti karmani, sat shastri kurvanti shastrani. This is very important. What is a tirtha? Tirtha is that place, river, person who helps us to cross samsara. Arati iti tirtha. We are able to cross this ocean of samsara because of anything which helps us is called tirtha. Kashi is a Tirtha, Ganga is a Tirtha. You know, in old style Maharashtra, father and mother were supposed to be Tirthas. So, Tirtha is a person or place or a river or a nature where one feels one will be able to cross the world. Now, how they have become Tirtha is our question. Why they are separated from the other places? What is special in Kashi? What is special in Ujjaini? You know, this Ayodhya, Mathura, Maya, Kashi, Kanchi, Avantika, Sapta ite Mokshadayaka. So where Rama was born, where Krishna was born, etc., etc., they become holiest of the holy. Why and how? Because these Mukhya Bhaktas go there, that is why it has become holy. Somebody asked me in Andhra, in Rajamahendri Center, youth conference was there. And one person asked me, why Holy Mother used to go to Ganges every day? She is pure by herself. Does she need Ganges? I said, purity loves purity. And Holy Mother, like persons, when they take the dip, Ganges becomes more holy. So why originally they have become holy? Why Kashi is holy? Because people from beginning of time almost, they go to Kashi. They visit these places. Now it has a double edge. Huh? If bad people again and again go to these places, they will bring down the importance of the place. I am very pained to see. I was in Rishikesh for almost 10 years, I told you. In the evening, when the electric lights are put, the children are playing badminton. And these dirty things are happening, police cases are happening in Rishikesh. Rishikesh became Rishikesh because people who wanted to do tapasya would go there. Only people would go there. So, these Mukhya Bhaktas make Tirthas to be Tirthas. It is because of the Mukhya Bhaktas that Tirtha has become a Tirtha. Then, Sukarmi Karvanti Karmani. Now, in Shankar Bhashya, generally we see, when the topic of karma comes, he says Agnihotra Dini. Now, do we perform Agnihotra? How many people in the world? Almost nobody. That was holy in those days. Then Sri Krishna told, you worship Jiva with the knowledge that he is Shiva. Now that has become the Sukarma. That has become in this age the karma to be followed for becoming spiritual. The karma to purify your mind is not Agnihotra now. Karma to purify yourself is Shiva Ganaji Seva. Why? Of course, Sri Krishna is not in the category of Mukhya Bhaktas, is far superior. But that is what happens. I will tell you another small incident. In Belur Math, Durga Puja is done by a brahmachari, not sannyasi. That is the Vedic tradition. Now, a brahmachari from Belgaria students used to perform Durga Puja in Belur Math 2-3 years. Now that year he got his sannyasa. According to the Vedic custom, sannyasi should not worship Durga. Now Mahaprabhuji was the president. So those who organized Durga Puja, they went to Mahaprabhuji. Mahaprabhuji, who will do worship this year? Then he took the name of that boy. That boy is doing nicely, he will do. They said, Maharaj, but he has become a sannyasi. What of that is? Is sannyasi such a big thing? They might have said, sannyasi will not do. I am telling sannyasi will do. But of course, those who are organizing were wanted to keep the old tradition. So they said, Maharaj, in the Belgaria center itself, there is another boy who worships nicely. Then Mahapurji, like a Shiva, says, okay, let him worship. But Mahapurji said, they have said, they means past people. Sannyasi cannot worship. I am telling Sannyasi can worship. Then Swami story I have to tell. Swami thought, now Belur Math is constructed. Swami is thinking that we are given new forms to religion, the Shiva, Jiv Seva, so many things. We are given new forms to religion. Are old forms still valid? Should we follow them? I am telling you a very interesting inner story. Durga Devi appeared before him. He is asking him, then shall we go away? Go away from the world. He said, why mother you are talking like that? She said, if you do not worship, people also will stop to worship me. So we will go away. Then he thought old forms also should be valid. He wanted to consult. Who will consult? Brahman Swami, another spiritual star. So Swamiji called Raja Maharaj or went to Raja Maharaj and said, Raja, shall we worship Durga in Belur? Brahman Swami said, Durga is giving me vision for last 7 days and asking me whether I will be worshipped or not. I am afraid of you because you have come to the foreign lands and you have so many new things. So I am afraid of talking to you. Now two, we'll say Diggaja, two spiritual giants at the same. Why Mother's Darshan? They did not decide. Then Raja, let us go to Holy Mother. Then Swami Ekanda, Raja Maharaj and so many sannyasis, they went to Holy Mother. And Swamiji approached Holy Mother and said, Mother, shall we worship Durga in the mud? She said, you must worship. She gave different angle. If you do not worship Shakti, how will you get the Shakti to help people? Your own activities of helping people, how will you get power for that unless you worship Shakti? Swamiji understood by that old forms also are valid. Then he is asking Mother, Mother, then we shall follow everything written in the book. Book means Veda. Book means the books dealing with worship of Durga. You know, Bengalis know it well. Mother said, yes, but you will not sacrifice an animal. Swamiji said, but mother, that is also written in the books. So Durga Puja, animal sacrifice is the Vedas dictum. So Swamiji's thinking is old and new form. So if you have to follow Durga Puja, then we should follow what is written in the book. Mother said it might be written, but I am telling you, you will not sacrifice animal. She is telling, I am seeing Ganges has become red. You understand? If you sacrifice an animal, everybody will think that is the pattern. Today also, in many pujas in Bengal, animal is sacrificed. But many are there who do not sacrifice. That is because Belur Math does not sacrifice. You know, the whole Bengal takes Belur Math Durga Puja is the most ideal. 1 year you could have seen. 1 year due to the Panchanga difference, Durga Puja in Bengal there is Gupta Press Panchanga and Shuddha Panchanga. So, because of Panchanga difference, there was 1 month gap in Belur Math Durga Puja and other Durga Puja. And then you should have seen, you know, all Bengalis go to their villages for Durga Puja. Now they are going next one. So the crowd in Belur Math is impossible to control that year. Understood? What Swamiji will do will become the standard. If he does not worship Durga, Durga says, I will go away. If he worships Durga with animal sacrifice, the whole Bengal will start doing that very thing. That is what mother said. I see Ganges has become red before me. So Swamiji understood old forms are valid but to be modified. Old forms are valid but to be modified in this age. So modification of old forms, new forms given, all this is done by Mahapurushas. And that is why Mukhya Bhaktas Sukarmi Kurvanti Karmani. Karma means any work. Sukarma means work helpful for spiritual growth. That is Sukarma. Sukarma means work which is helpful for spiritual growth, work which will really purify us. Agnihotra is not going to purify us now. Today only we are reading Kenopanishad. And their karma can, Shankara says, Agnihotra Didi. Maybe in his time, today who is going to do Agnihotra? So, according to the Mahapurusha's dictum, in Gita, Bhagavan has told about it. Yadyad acharati shreshto tattadeva itaro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadan vartate. Shreshta people, what they do, that is taken as standard by people and they follow that. This very thing Narada is telling. Mukhya bhaktas, in your eyes they are appearing like mad. But see what karmas they make into spiritual karma. Then Sat Shastri Kurvanti Shastrani. What are Shastras? We don't take Shastra, there is something mandatory. Shastras means experience of the people. Rishis have experienced God and they have told us do like that, don't do like that. Do and don't is one Shastra. But knowledge will get in this way. So Shastras means the authoritative guidance given by Rishis. Now, we doubt in these days. Vedas might have said so. Nowadays, will it happen like that? That is a common question. Now, some Mahapurush comes. In Shri Ram Krishna's life, we find independently he did all the sadhanas, got all the results. But then he did according to all the Shastras. So, validation of the Shastras, if a Mukhya Bhakta performs sadhana according to Shastra and he finds the result, then Shastra is validated. Shastra becomes such Shastra, Shastra becomes a valid Shastra because the Mukhya Bhaktas follow the Shastra and get the result, so the Shastra becomes such Shastra. So the glory of the Mukhya Bhaktas is being described in front of Gauna Bhaktas. Then Mayaha. How all this happens? What is their life? Why they are so powerful? They are filled with God. Then Maya, they are filled with God. Outside you see them in a human form. There are no more humans. So again he is inspiring the God Bhaktas by giving the example of Mukhya Bhaktas. See, they are filled with God. Another thing. Modante Pitaro Nrityanti Devata Sanatha Chayam Bhavati. Pitar, their forefathers, who might be in heaven or wherever, they become happy that one child in our kula has become great. Not that by becoming king or politician. When they become Mukhya Bhaktas, because of the Mukhya Bhaktas, their forefathers even rejoice that one at least in our family has become like that. Nrityanti Devata. Devatas means people who are Chaitanya Pradhan. Consciousness is their main property. They are Devatas. And they dance out of joy to see such a man. Deliberately, Narada is describing Mukhya Bhaktas in such a way that the Gaun Bhaktas will get inspired. Vrityanti Devata. And then Sanatha cha iyam guru, it is very important. Sanatha means with a guardian, this land, this earth of ours. First he has told Prithvi the Pavanani Karoti. Now, the kings or the politicians or statesmen, they think we are protecting this earth. The kings think, the powerful people think, we are ruling the world, we are protecting this world. If the king is not there, anarchism will take place. But they are not protecting the world. World is being protected by such Mukhya Bhaktas. If a few Mukhya Bhaktas are there in any country, the country becomes protected. The whole world is not protected by politicians, is not protected by statesmen, is not protected by kings. It is protected by the Mukhya Bhaktas. So, this section has been called Mukhya Bhakta Mahima. And the topic going on is Gauna Bhaktas. So, how to be from Gauna Bhakta to come to real Bhakta, he has described very nicely. But there may be reluctance in Gaun Bhaktas. So he describes Mukhya Bhaktas like mad people first. And they say this is their glory. See their glory and then think that you should also become a Mukhya Bhakta. Then one more property of them. Beautiful thing. 22 I am reading now. Nasti Teshu Jati Vidya Rupa Kula Dhana Kriyadi Veda. Teshu has two meanings. Amongst them is one meaning. Secondly, in their eye is another meaning. Amongst them, there is no difference due to caste, due to learning, due to rupa, due to family in which they are born, due to whether they are rich or poor, due to what they are doing in their life, occupation. These differences are not existing amongst the Mukhya Bhaktas. You will find this in periods of history. In Maharashtra, when Jnaneshwar was there were saints of every caste. Every caste. The potter, the washerman, the sweeper, and the sweeper's wife, and the tailor, and the tailor's maid servant. All they were devotees. And they fit into this description. They would sit together and think of God, talk of God. So now we see another category. Sri Ramakrishna's disciple, caste, Brahmins 2, 3, castes many, Lattu Maharaj from the whatever caste you call it, scheduled caste. So people from all castes are there. Vidya, Swamakanda, Kali Maharaj, so much learned. Suryan Swamiji learned in different direction. And there are people without learning. Then Jati, Vidya, Rupa. Some people appear glorious. You see the photo of Nagmash. Can you call him handsome? You see, Juni, the person who wrote Ramakrishna Puthi, you cannot call him beautiful. So they don't matter what rupa they have. Again in Maharashtra, there was that Sokha Mela, a sweeper, Bhangi by caste, and he was not at all good in appearance. So he has a beautiful song, you know that. Soka Donga, very Bhaktanave Donga. He says the sugar cane, if you see, it is ugly looking. But the juice it produces is sweet, is it not? Similarly, Chokha may not appear beautiful from outside, but his devotion you see, same sweet. You see, Chokha's wife, she has composed bhajans which are Advaitin in their composition. So no difference among them for Jati, Vidya, Rupa, Kula, high and low family. Everybody is there. Then Dhana, who is rich and who is poor, I have described. So, no money. Gyaneshwar himself had no money. He was an outcast. The leader of the gang was outcast. And everybody has different money, different this. And then Kriya. Kriya means his occupation. I told you, potter, tailor, washerman, sweeper, everywhere was there. This is one meaning. The other meaning is that in their mind, there is no such difference among common people. For a saint of Dhaneshwar's caliber, or Thakur's disciples you take, glorious, they will not think which caste you belong to. I will tell some funny things without criticizing anybody. If you go to Kailash Ashram and you seek sannyas, they will first tell us which caste you belong. In the Ramakrishna Mission, there is no such thing. Once it so happened, in Chandigarh we had a Bhakta Sammelan. One person asked, why there are few gathering in Ramakrishna Mission? In other places we see thousands of people gather. I said, few people I accept. But is it on the basis of money? Is it on the basis of learning? Is it on the basis of caste? You tell me. You, because the evolution in life requires to become faculty. Otherwise, there is no difference on these counts. I remember here one special incident. There was flash floods in Chandigarh. And Belur Math wanted us to do some relief work. We started doing. We went to the collector of Patiala to provide us two things, some vehicle, and we do not want free kerosene, but kerosene at control rate. That man said, how much you can do? How much people are suffering? What can you do? He discouraged us and did not do anything. Now, amongst our devotees, there was a person of scheduled caste. He was a civilian attached to police force. So he asked his superior, please give me some days leave because I want to do relief work on behalf of ashram. That chief said, why leave? You are on duty. If you do that work, I will take you on duty. And you take the jeep, police jeep, with petrol to carry things and go there. That was the most helpful thing. I remember him always. So, in Ramakrishna Mission, I am telling you in general, the Mukhya Bhaktas, I come back to Mukhya Bhaktas, they do not differentiate people on any of these behalf. Not for beautiful people should come. Jati with, so Teshu has two meanings. Saptam is there. Teshu means amongst them or in their minds about people. Amongst them there is no difference. In their mind there is no difference about Jati Vidya Rupa Kula Dhana Kriyadi Veda. Why the difference is not there is our question. Among themselves first thing. Why the difference is not there? Narada replies beautiful way. Yatastadiya. They are his people. They are God's people. Mukhya Bhaktas are God's people. So there is no difference. In God's mind, there is no difference. I have told you several stories about Odisha. Salabega I told. Then I read the Tamilian's version of the Nayanar. So, in God's mind, there is no difference. And these Mukhya Bhaktas are God's own people. So, they do not have any difference among them or in their minds about the people. So, this is Mukhya Bhakta Mahima. This Narada is describing this for the benefit of Gaun Bhaktas. He has begun by telling they are mad like. And this mad like Bhaktas has such a glory in their life. So that is the second section of dealing with the Gaun Bhaktas. First section, several instructions to change their bhakti into real bhakti. Second section, describing the glory of Mukhya Bhaktas to the Gaun Bhaktas to inspire them to become like that. Now we come to the third section. This may be taken as common, but this is also for the Gaun Bhaktas. Mukhya Bhaktas will not, they have already described their sadhana and everything. So he says some more instructions to the Gaun Bhaktas. And first is Vado Navalambya, very important point. You should not argue with people. You should not enter a debate. Nothing can be proved by argument. And I remember my Guruji taught me this. Somebody came, some young man, and I was arguing, trying to make him believe in God. Many of us do like that. My Guruji called me and said, don't argue. Unless he grows, he cannot accept what you are telling. The growth has to come from within. You must understand, everybody's logic is different. We sometimes think logic is a common base. You have seen small children's logic? You go to America, see the Disneyland, Alice in Wonderland. For that Alice, the card king and queen were real kings and queens. The children's argument are completely different. Everybody has his own argument. Now, in the field of politics, you will see. Every party has their own argument. In philosophers, you will see. Every person has his own argument. Now, by argument, you cannot prove the existence of God. By argument, you cannot convert others by your life and by their growth. Unless they come to that point of evolution, they cannot accept your idea. This we must remember. Otherwise, we are wasting our energy. And this Narada is specially telling to the Gaun Bhaktas. Real Bhaktas know this very well. One more point. Bahulyavakashat Aniyatatvacha. You see debate on TV in channels. Everybody has his own opinion. And nobody to control them. That anchor shouts and shouts and shouts. Everybody is sitting in his own way. Because there is scope. Bahulyavakashat means there is scope for different elements about every point in the world. There is scope for different opinions about every point in this world. So don't argue. And aniyantritvacha, you cannot control them, you cannot check them. Everybody goes in his own way. We see this every day on TV debate. Everybody. Everybody shouting in his own way. The anchor is trying to calm one down. Nothing can happen. Uncontrollable. So, the viewers are enjoying, but they are not learning anything. They are only learning that there are many opinions. Narada is telling us that practically, previously we are converting Gauni to real Bhakti in the philosophical way or Gauni way, in the Bhakti way. Now he is giving some practical hints to the Gaun Bhaktas. Don't argue because the arguments have scope for various opinions and no control over them can be done. Then one point will come. What to do? We have our buddhi. Sometimes this buddhi is a curse we feel. This tarka buddhi is very different. What to do? Narada will tell in the next class. In the next class we shall deal very practical. If you have buddhi, don't use it for argument. If you have buddhi, how to use it? All those points you shall see in the next class. And with Atma Priyanji's permission, we already decided. Atma Priyanji has decided. And I proposed, he has decided. After we require 2 more classes now for Narada. So we end our session this Friday and next Monday. From Wednesday onwards, we'll start taking classes on Shankaracharya's different books, starting with Aparokshanubhuti. We'll start with Shankaracharya's Aparokshanubhuti, then Atmabodhi is there, Laghu Vakyavrutti is there. So Shankaracharya's treatises, Prakarana Granthas we call them, and he will announce officially, Atma Priyanji, he will send a circular also to all the centers. But I am telling you, it has been decided. Please do not think this or that or that. So many suggestions have come in my name. So the decision we shall be dealing with it. And one more point. Now, all these are being held from the RKM area. From the Vivekananda University, all this is being held. And now their academic session has started. And for everything, they are online classes. So we shall curtail our classes from 3 to 2. Instead of thrice per week, we'll have twice per week. So next Monday this will end, and Wednesday we start Aparokshanubhuti, and from that time, Wednesday and Friday only we'll have this class, Monday we will not have. Next Monday we will have, because Narada Bhakti will end that day, and then next week we will have classes only on Wednesdays and Fridays dealing with Aparokshanubhuti. Om Jayati Jagati Maya Yasya Kaya Davaste Vachana Rachanamekam Kevalam Chakalayam Dhruvapadam Api Yato Yat Krupato Dhruvoyam Sakala Kushala Patram Brahmaputram Natosmi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hare Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam.